Okay, so this is case 1 of the Ohm's Law lab. These two are my current sensors, and these two are my voltage sensors. This button is pressed down, but it's not actually being pressed down, so there's no current currently working through current working through the graph right now. So I will have to keep pressing this down. But my potentiometer is turned all the way to one side, and I am about to measure the resistance of my 100 ohm resistor. And I don't know if you can see that right there, but that's my multimeter at 200 ohms. Okay. Put these two here. And it's at it's kind of fluctuating between 99.5 and 99.0, but I would say right now it's at 99.6. And I would just like to clarify that I'm redoing this lab, so the data from here will not be matching completely with my data from my lab report, just because it's going to be a redo, so numbers might be slightly different. Okay, so let's start. Let's press the button. And I have my laptop right here. This was a previous attempt that I did at recording this video, but as the potentiometer was turned, you could see that it slowly started going up. But we're gonna redo it just right now. So hit record, press the current sensor, and I turned the potentiometer kind of in fourths, basically. This time, because I'm turning it higher, it will it'll raise the resistance, so the current should be going down, which in a moment. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera. You can see that it is. So this is the highest it was turned, and then next time it was turned, third time, fourth time, fifth time, and the data's still going. Let me stop that. And then this is after the button was released. Okay, so now we're going to be working on case 2 of the Ohm's Law lab. I initially did do this lab with the sensors. However, when I was trying to measure the voltage sensors, from moving from R1 to R2, R3, and then moving R1 to R2, R2, R3, and then R1 to R3, my graph was really messed up, and I had to use like a really weird way to kind of figure out where all of my values are, where I basically had to go back through and measure each of them as their own run. So I'm just to like save some time today, I'm just going to be using my multimeter. Yeah, so I'm going to put the multimeter at 2 volts, and then I'm going to take my leads, and then I'm going to measure R1. I don't know, let me move it this way. R1. Oh, hold on, I need to take R1, and let me press the button right here. And the voltage I have right now is 0.147 volts for R1. R1 plus R2 is 0.630 volts running across both resistors, and then just R2 is 0.482 resistors, and then R2 and R3 is 1.312 volts, and then running across all 3 of them is 1.461 volts, which does match up because this is a 1.5 volt battery. Then to measure the current, let me hit record. Press this button. That's weird. The current doesn't seem to be measuring anything. It's turned on. Yeah, this is my current sensor. Perhaps I need to switch the leads. No. For whatever reason, my current sensor doesn't seem to be recording right now. But when I did have my current and voltage graphs, they were set up as can be seen in my lab report, of course, but these are my voltage leads, by the way. It was set up kind of like this, and then I would hit record, and then I would move this to just R2, and then I hit record, or it kept recording. Then I would move this to just R3, and then again keep recording, and then I would do R1, R2, and it would keep recording as well. And then, yeah, I really did pick the longer way about this, but R1 or R2 to R3, and then all the resistors. This, however, gave me like a really highly fluctuating graph, and I could not decipher which voltage was running across which resistors. So what I did after that was I had that run as my kind of baseline, and then I did separate runs on top of it where I measured the current running only through R1 and then stopped recording, then moved the leads over to measure R2, and then measured only the voltage running through R2. And by doing that, I was able to decipher which sections of the graph were like the voltages of which resistors, and then I found the mean of each of those sections, and that's how I got my values that I put in my lab report. However, I do not have the patience to do that right now, and it was also a lot of work, so I think I should have used the multimeter in the first place, and this was definitely like a way better way of doing it. But yeah, so that is my case 2. And if I didn't mention in my first case, I don't think I did it now either. This resistor is the same resistor from case 1, but I don't think I ever measured the resistance on camera. So resistors, R1, 99.6, R2, I need to raise it up a little bit, 324, R3, oh, R3 is really finicky, 559. are the resistances of each of those components. And yeah, so this is case 3. I have the resistors labeled, which you can kind of see. Yeah. So this is case 3 of the Ohm's Law lab report. So this is, I have all of my wiring set right now. So the resistor is going to go right here where you see the R3 label. These are all of my resistors. So I used, let me get pliers here. So this right here is the resistance I used from case 1 and case 2. So this is going to be 99.6 ohms, or the color code says 100 ohms. And then that is also the same resistor I used from case 2, which is 324 ohms as measured, but 330 ohms as per the color code. Right here is the third resistor I used from case 2. This is 560 ohms, but I believe the multimeter says it's 559 ohms. This resistor right here, and here are all new ones that I have not tested yet. So let me do that real quickly. Grab my leads. This should be 10 ohms right here. This should be 470 ohms, and this should be 1,000 ohms. So we will check if that is true. So first up, I set it to 200 ohms. We're going to measure the 10 ohm resistor. It says it is 10.6 ohms. And then let's raise it up. We're going to do this resistor right here, the 470. And it shows that it's 480 ohms. And then we're going to do the 1,000 ohm one right here. That is 998 ohms right there. So to do this lab, I basically, my voltage, my voltage wires are going to be right here. Okay. And then I basically went through and I started with my smallest resistor first. Bent the ends just a little bit so it could sit a little neater. Just like that. And then I pressed the button over here and watched the current and voltage meters record all of the data. I might have to restart my meters actually because they're both glitching out. So I restarted my meters, they're right here. Restarted both of them and connected them both to my capstone. And now I'm going to press this button and watch it record, or hit record and then press. Yeah, and then I basically pressed it, if you can see that, a bunch of times. It's flipped because my leads are flipped right now, but if they were in the right position, they wouldn't have been doing that, which I can flip real fast. Stop that. Put this over here, and this right here. current also needs to be flipped. Okay, so this was the first run, which I just did, and then now I'm going to do the second run. I'm going to be pressing this button right here, and as you can see, it is recording very nicely, and it is going up just a little bit. Oh, it's heading back down now, but the graph is fluctuating a little bit, the current. I found that sometimes it's because my finger moves when I'm on the trigger. So as I'm moving my finger like this, you can see that it's fluctuating a little bit more. But as soon as I try to keep it stable, it's not as much. So yeah, that's the current. And then basically I would hit stop, replace the resistances with the 7 that I have in my hand right here each time. So next would be the 100 ohm resistor. I went in increasing order. So it was 10 ohms, then it was 100, then it was 330, so on and so forth. And then I would hit record again on the laptop, and then press the button and kept recording all my trials that way. And yeah, so that was case number 3 of the Ohm's Law lab. And that was how I did all of my labs.